자갈치 시장의 활기찬 목소리. 영도 앞바다를 수놓은 은빛 윤슬. 우리가 지켜온 부산의 소중한 모습들입니다. 이제 부산은 그 이상의 내일을 준비합니다. 첨단을 달리는 에코 델타시티의 일상부터 가덕도 신공항의 하늘길, 그리고 유라시아와 북극을 잇는 북극항로까지 세계를 향한 거침없는 도약. 그 엔진은 바로 부산 사람입니다.
우리가 부산입니다.
우리가 부산입니다.
우리가 부산입니다.
당신의 자부심이 부산의 미래를 만듭니다. 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
We are the Zero Waste Rangers.
To save Mother Earth, just remember the 5 R's. Would you like a bag for that?
No thanks. I brought my own bag. Number 1, refuse. Just say no to things you do not need.
This shirt is so out of style.
Why not take it to a flea market? Number 2, reduce. Buy only what you need and share with your neighbors.
1 iced Americano coming right up.
Can I get that in my tumbler? Number 3, reuse. Single use, that's not how we do things.
This is such a hassle. Let's just throw it all in together.
You've got to peel off the labels and rinse them out. Number 4, recycle. Rinse it, peel it, and recycle properly.
This looks different from other sponges.
It's a biodegradable loofah. Number 5, rot. Choose a product that returns to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
Reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
Beach.
Oh yeah!
Camping.
Oh yeah!
Swimming.
Oh yeah!
Summer is awesome.
Mosquitoes,
Oh no.
tropical nights,
Oh no.
food poisoning.
Oh no.
Summer is awful.
But you know, you can always prevent food poisoning.
Oh really?
Of course. I'll tell you. Follow me, okay? First, wash your hands, utensils, and food surfaces often. Second, cook and store your food at safe temperatures and always use clean water. Third, defrost food safely. The best way to do it is in the refrigerator. Fourth, keep raw food separate from ready-to-eat food to prevent cross-contamination. Last but not least, always remember that eating safely is the best way to enjoy your meal. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Stuck in traffic again. No parking spaces anywhere. All I've done is drive. And I'm already completely drained. Maybe I'll skip the drive today. Instead of driving, every ride is my time. Put on my headphones, catch a quick nap, or simply gaze out the window without a thought. A morning that used to rush by finally feels like my time. Less driving, more living. Take back your time. Public transit is the easiest way to reclaim your day. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
If you live
live here in Korea, you have probably noticed the spike in the international travelers that are flocking here. Where do foreign tourists like to go, though? Well, aside from the usual spots like shopping hotspot Myeongdong and maybe Seoul Tower, they're increasingly visiting traditional markets and hiking trails. And also, Dongdaemun Design Plaza recorded the largest year-on-year increase in foreign visitors at 12.1% in 2025, and that was followed by Achasan at 11.8%. That's according to a report by the Seoul AI Foundation. Well, when you go abroad, what kinds of sites or places are on your must-visit list? So let me know. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Friday, August 21st on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, Wavers. It's that day. It's Friday. It's finally here. So I hope you're all doing well. And once again, let me know what kinds of, attractions or sites or things you like to do when you go abroad. Some people really like going to all the museums, the historic sites, etc. Other people, they look for kind of off the beaten trail areas where the so-called non-touristy people go to. So let me know how you like to travel. And by the way, speaking of traveling, let's get to our text topic for Friday. If you could choose where to live, would you rather live in the city or in the country? Are you a city mouse or a rural mouse? 자, 내가 사는 곳 선택할 수 있다면 나는 도시 versus 시골. So also let us know why. The reason is so important, so you can send in your messages to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the platform, type in BEFM 부산 영어 방송 to find our channel, and then you can subscribe, log in, and chat with other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050, that's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk. Same thing there. You got to add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages and photos as well. And the ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, there are so many ways these days, right? On the radio here in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending on where you are. We are streaming on YouTube right now. In real time, come check us out. We're also available on the BFM app and also the Papang app. Here is a lineup for this Friday morning. Hour number 1, we have Haley for Top Stories. She's also coming in for wa글와글 Tea Time in hour number 2. We have Casey for Foreign Press Highlights, and then Professor Andrew Miller for Global Affairs. For our special interview today, many of you may have wondered this. Do I really need to use all those disinfectants and all the sprays and all the powders to get the deep clean? Or, you hear like baking soda and soap, lemon, water, that may be enough. Is it really, though? Let's find out with our expert. That's coming up in hour number 2. And here is Now in Busan. This is Now in Busan, our local news segment. We're going to begin with the first Arctic route trial ship to set voyage. So Busan City has signed a memorandum of understanding, an MOU, to promote the development of the Arctic shipping route with a 2,800 TEU test container ship, Panstar Acro scheduled to set sail tomorrow. The ship will travel through the Bering Strait and the Arctic Ocean to Rotterdam in the Netherlands on a route that is expected to cut shipping distances by about 30% and reduce travel time by more than 10 days compared with the Suez Canal route. So that, if it works, is going to be a saver. Busan's nature tops list of local leisure culture by foreign residents. Some 400 foreign residents in Busan have ranked leisure life in the city 7.28 out of 10, naming beautiful natural environment as their top choice. That's according to a report by the Busan Development Institute, or BDI. For areas of improvement, respondents pointed to expanding signage in foreign languages and expanding foreigner-friendly leisure programs. An official from the BDI said that the city should come up with policies to take advantage of this natural resource to attract even more people to our lovely city. Moving on, Busan is going to be establishing a foreigner resident disaster safety network. Busan City is launching a Busan Disaster Response Interpretation Team of around 30 members to provide interpretation in 16 languages, including English, Chinese, and Japanese at disaster sites, medical facilities, and also temporary shelters. The city plans to establish a step-by-step support system covering everything from rescue, evacuation, and emergency medical care to things like temporary housing, relief supplies, and even psychological recovery. And let's talk about this. Taiwanese tourist finds lost cash thanks to Busan police. A tourist from Taiwan was able to recover 1.3 million won in cash they left in a taxi thanks to the help of Haeundae police. The traveler is said to have been at a loss as they didn't know the taxi information. The police tracked down the taxi using a dashboard camera from a nearby bus, and then they were able to recover the lost wallet. An official from the police station said that they hope that visitors that come to Busan can go back home with warm memories. And that's such an amazing story. I love stories like that. And this was Now in Busan. And this is 수순밟나 by 이무진.
우린 멋진 나이야 좀 어리긴 하지만 하고픈 일이 나가고픈 길 해야 할 일들까지 많으니까 우린 확신 속에 숨은 불확실함 우리란 꽃말을 지닌 라일락 영원할 것만 같은 이 시간이다 던질게 이 청춘의 끝까지 날 깊이 잠겼어도 떠오른 듯 쓰러졌어도 벅차오른 듯 너는 어제를 지나왔으니 잠이 되어버린 출발선네 무모했던 나를 날 데리러 언젠간 돌아갈 거라 믿어 푸르른 공기가 나를 사무친다 가득 하늘을 나를 수 있을 듯한 밤이다 산요동이 헤엄쳐오는 곳이 어딘지 몰라 안 가는 건 아니야 따사로운 온기가 덜 푸른을 향하는 비행이 망설여지기도 하겠지만 한 번뿐인 이 모험을 겁내진 않아 오늘보다 오래된 날은 없으니 어서 날아오르자 우린 멋진 나이지만 아직 어린 아이라 빠르게 밀려오는 여정이 두렵게만 느껴질 때가 있다 오늘은 지나쳐가는 유람일까 혹은 기나긴 꿈이 약인가 답을 찾는 건 어렵기만 하지만 따라야지 그게 청춘이라니까 누군 위에 누군 저기 아래 또 누군 다른 길로 떠났네 점점 혼잔 게 외롭긴 해도 멈추지만 않으면 도착해 끝과 시작의 과정 사이에 날 쉼표를 그늘진 길가에다 푸르른 공기가 나를 사무친다 가득 하늘을 나를 수 있을 듯한 밤이다 산요동이 헤엄쳐오는 곳이 어딘지 몰라 안 가는 건 아니야 그래서 찬란한 우리가 기다린 미래도 우리 기다릴까 분명한 건 지금보다 환하게 빛날 거야 아직 서막일 뿐이야 흐르는 공기가 날 사무쳐 안아 하늘을 나를 수 있을 듯한 밤이다 잔여동이 헤엄쳐오른 곳으로 가자 이 세상에서 제일 예쁜 곳을 향해서 뛰어오르자
It's time for your traffic report. It is congested on Gwanmun-daero from Bangeum Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel. It's busy on Mandok-daero from Sukdeung to Deokcheon intersection. And it's also slow on Luno-Samsung-daero from Myeongji Underpass to Shinho Bridge. It's congested on Jungwang-daero from Songgong Three-Way intersection to Seomyeon intersection. It's currently 26 degrees Celsius here in Busan under clear skies. It's going to go up to 31 today. Busan is under a heat wave impact forecast, a heat wave advisory, and a tropical night advisory as well. Rain is forecast for the central areas and showers in southern Chungcheong with high heat and high humidity across the country. Looking ahead to the weekend, summer is still in full force despite Sunday being Cheoseol, one of the 24 solar cycles when the heat is supposed to let up. Both tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to experience lows of 25 degrees and highs of anywhere between 31, maybe even 32. This was your traffic and weather. This is the morning brief. North Korea fires short-range ballistic missiles. North Korea yesterday fired around a dozen short-range ballistic missiles toward the East Sea, as U.S. President Donald Trump has been sending messages for talks with Chairman Kim Jong-un. President Lee Jae-myung meets with Chinese Foreign Minister. President Lee Jae-myung met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi at Cheongwadae yesterday and asked him to continue close strategic communications with Seoul's officials on issues surrounding the Korean peninsula. National Assembly passes bill to speed up review of fast-track bills. The National Assembly yesterday passed a bill aimed at significantly shortening the deliberation period to a maximum of 90 days from the current 330 for fast-track bills. Ex-prosecutor general indicted over alleged martial law involvement. The Kwon Chang-young special counsel yesterday indicted former prosecutor general Shim Woo-jung without detention over his alleged involvement, including abuse of authority and former President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law bid. U.S. urges allies to join economic pressure campaign on Iran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called on U.S. allies to join Washington's Step Up economic pressure campaign against Iran, outlining a plan to impose the toughest sanctions in history on the Islamic Republic. This was the Morning Brief. This is our number one of Morning Wave in Busan. It's time for top stories. Haley's here. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's that day. Friday.
Happy Friday.
Indeed. Well, we are going to begin with U.S. President Donald Trump and his gesture towards North Korea to restart talks.
Absolutely. So I've been getting a lot of messages from the U.S. President Donald Trump, one certainty and one uncertainty. Starting with the for sure fact is that President Donald Trump wants to meet with North Korea's chair, Kim Jong-un. But one uncertainty is to what extent the denuclearization talks will take place. So President Trump has told reporters at the White House the other day that North Korea has 57 very powerful nuclear weapons, his words. And this is significant, and it was kind of a jump scare for a lot of people because it is the first time that not just Trump, but any U.S. president has mentioned a specific number pertaining to North Korea's nuclear weapons. And this goes in line with his previous comments about North Korea being a potential nuclear power or nuclear state, 핵 보유국, which his administration officials have also echoed, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Also, the specific number 57 is an implicit acknowledgement that may bring big waves to the security situation over the Korean Peninsula and even to the general Northeast Asia.
Yes. But the official U.S. position is still denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, right?
Officially, yes, including the one statement after the U.S.-China summit back in May, where the two leaders, President Trump and Xi Jinping, confirmed their shared goal of denuclearization of North Korea, and also a statement from the U.S. Department back in June. But still, that mention of 57 nuclear weapons, it could be read as the U.S. effectively acknowledging North Korea's nuclear status.
Right. And that figure is fairly accurate?
That's also kind of up for debate. So South Korea and the U.S., they both treat this information as top secret. And it is rare, if not unprecedented, for a U.S. president to outright say a number.
Right.
Also, South Korea's defense minister, An Gyu-baek, told the parliament yesterday that South Korea actually estimates that the North has about 80 to 120 nuclear weapons, but that they are restricted from saying an exact number. So President Trump's figure might be different. Actually, Seoul doesn't specify North Korea's nuclear arsenal because we still operate under the principle that we do not acknowledge the North as a nuclear state. And yesterday, Minister An said that he also cannot officially acknowledge the North's nuclear possession situation, falling in line with what multiple global agencies have estimated as well.
Right.
By the way, going back to the figure of 57, if this were to be true, it would be smaller than other nuclear nations. For example, Israel is reportedly owns about 90 nuclear weapons, 170 by Pakistan and 190 by India.
I see. Well, what could this hint about the future of U.S. foreign policy on North Korea?
That although it may not be the official position, President Trump could be seeking to switch his position from denuclearization to a softer one, a deal or a trade. So it wouldn't be to have North Korea give up or get rid of the nuclear weapons, but maybe to freeze production in exchange for easing sanctions. In fact, President Trump, when asked by reporters if the goal was still denuclearization, actually said he doesn't want to talk about that at the moment. Also, consider the domestic situation in the U.S. with the midterm elections coming up in November.
Right.
There is some kind of there is pressure, definitely, for some kind of a win, a diplomatic one, especially with the war in Iran being at a stalemate.
Yes. What has North Korea said about the ongoing efforts for talks, though?
We've been hearing a lot from Kim Yo-jong, who is a state official and, of course, sister to Kim Jong-un. She made a statement via state media that Washington's recent decision to scale down on the ongoing Ulji Freedom Shield exercise has put Seoul, South Korea, in a poor plight of canceling the war games, calling it a disaster for South Korea. So while this is a message of hostility, it wasn't outright hostile towards the U.S., but rather against South Korea.
Yes.
Where Kim Yo-jong also said that President Lee Jae-myung's, quote, double-dealing remarks, referring to Lee saying he respects the scaling down of the drills while pledging for the independent buildup of South Korea's military capabilities.
Right.
These remarks show the uneasiness and impatience of South Korea.
All right. We're going to move on to this story. It's been brewing. This friction seen between Cheong Won and the Supreme Court Chief Justice when he made justice nominations to the president without following convention. So let's get the latest on this.
Right, so a little bit of background. Supreme Court Chief Justice Cho Hee-dae this week nominated two judges, Daegu Regional Court's Son Bong-gi and Seoul High Court's Kim Sung-soo, to be appointed as justices at the top court by President Lee Jae-myung. So President Lee has to send a request to the National Assembly, which has to confirm it, and then the president will appoint these justices.
Right.
However, there was controversy because the convention has always been that 청와대 and the Supreme Court justice will collaborate on the nominees, and then the Chief Justice makes the nominations in person.
Right.
Neither of these processes happened, apparently, and this has incited controversy of whether the Chief Justice had bypassed the president. And according to reports citing those in the ruling party in the know, some within 청와대, they're actually looking into not moving on with the appointment process, but actually sending it back, requesting that the Chief Justice make another nomination.
Oh, so would that be for one or both the candidates?
It would likely be for one, Son Bong-gi, who would replace outgoing, or rather retired Justice Do Tae-ak. So if this were to happen, it would be effectively the president rejecting the Chief Justice's nomination, and that has actually never happened before and could further escalate this friction.
Okay.
Also, when reporters asked, 청와대 officials did express their displeasure, saying that the nomination request was an unprecedented unilateral declaration from the Chief Justice that bypassed the spirit of cooperation. However, they were a little bit careful in outright saying that they were going to reject the nomination, saying that they would have to review not just custom, but also the legality before taking any action.
All right, so I'm sure we'll hear more about this story. Up next, we've been talking about how tough the job market has been, especially for young people, and you have numbers about this.
Right, so many young people, usually they go for the large corporate jobs.
Right.
But the new hires for these large conglomerates, they have decreased by 15% in the past 2 years. This is an analysis by Leaders Index of the top 500 firms that have disclosed their hiring figures by age group, so that falls down to 113 companies.
Yes.
So the scale of new recruitments went from 109,000 in 2023 to just 92,000 last year. That was a 15% decrease. But this rate was actually larger than the total number of hires, which only went down by about 300 people.
So there was a definite age-related pattern, though.
Tough market for young people as the rate of new hires for under 30. That group dropped by 13.8%. On the contrary, the rate of new hires for people over the age of 50 actually increased by 4.5%, and they actually now account for 18.4% of the job market, very narrowly, but still exceeding the 18.3% of young people 30 or under. So there's been a flip.
Yes. Well, were there specific sectors where this was even more prominent?
Right. So looking at areas where young people are struggling to get jobs, logistics, 유통, food and beverages, construction, telecommunications, and insurance. So this on the surface may look like just a random array of industries, but if you get down to it, they all have to do with demand, 내수. So that shows how tough demand has been and spending has been.
Right.
But other industries that have seen rapid growth, like semiconductors and biosectors, they have hired more young people.
And young people feel a bit pessimistic about their prospects.
And enter AI.
Right.
So here, 6 out of 10 young job seekers think that their future positions will be replaced or diminished due to artificial intelligence.
Right.
This is according to the Federation of Korea Industry Survey via Mono Research across 1,000 job seekers, ages from 19 to 34. And here, almost 54% said that their current jobs or the job they're hoping to get in the future will be diminished or fully replaced by AI. And the concern was much higher for the positions that actually had higher exposure to AI, as you might imagine. And these were white-collar jobs. So office workers, management positions, and specialists, where 58.4% said that they felt threatened one way or another. So this was the complete opposite for blue-collar jobs like physical labor, farming, or fisheries, where only 12.6% said they were likely going to get replaced by AI. So overall, people had mixed feelings about artificial intelligence, with the majority agreeing that yes, they will help AI, will help increase their professional specialty and career competitiveness, but could also replace them.
All right. Well, we're going to get to our next story, but before that, we're going to preface it with our text topic. So, The city versus the country. What say ye?
Definitely a city girl. I like the technology. I like the conveniences. But I do like to take like a country getaway every once, like quarterly, every once in a while. Otherwise, it's too soon.
Okay. So what is a breakdown of the ratio of those who live in the city versus the country? So this is like actual figures.
Yes. So South Korea, very much urban. Shouldn't surprise you. But then I do have to wonder how much of that is necessity versus want. So 92% of the entire population of South Korea, we live in urban areas. And these urban areas, though, they only account for 16.7% of the total land mass, which is why things might be so crowded.
Yes.
This is according to the Ministry of Land and Korea Land and Geospatial Informatics Corporation, LX. Excuse me, their statistics on city planning for 2025.
So we need the breakdown.
Right, so South Korea's landmass dedicated for various usage, 용도 지정 지역, came to 106,000 square meters or kilometers of these urban areas. And they include residential areas, commercial areas, industrial, and even city greenery, accounted for just 16.7%. And of the 51.12 million population of South Korea, some 47 million, that's 92%, lived in these urban areas. So definitely kind of a mismatch because 46% of the country's land is farmland.
Oh, yes. So, of course, I'll read some of the responses in a little bit. Moving on, though, next month, can you believe, is already Chuseok, and various local governments are working on sending out livelihood support funds.
And between now and then, there's going to be a lot of questions as to, are we getting anything? Short answer, in Busan, no, at least not for the time being. I'll get to that. But these are not nationwide handouts or stipends, and they depend on your city, county, or province, carried out by the local government's respective budgets, and will differ once again by where you live.
All right, so let's get the breakdown. Which municipalities are for sure sending out the money?
The most notable, meaning aka the highest amounts, Uryong County in Gyeongnam, Hamgyong County in Jeonnam, both giving out 50만 원. 500,000 won per person. Tongyong's also giving out 350,000 won per person. Our neighboring Kimhae, 10만 원, 100,000 won per person, all to go out before Chuseok. I'm not going to give you the full list. Check with your local governments, but also Goheung, Changheung, Naju, and Yeongnam are giving out various amounts ranging from 300 and 100,000 in forms of local spending gift certificates.
Okay.
On the contrary, areas that are not considering the stipends are Gyeonggi, Incheon, Busan, and Jeju.
But there are also municipalities where the money has been tied up.
Right, so the residents are hopeful, but also kind of, gearing up for maybe that hope not happening because they couldn't get their respective local council approval for the budget. For example, Gangneung City had plans to give out 100,000 won via the Gangneung Pay, but the majority People Power Party council members opposed the bill, so that failed to pass.
Right.
Same situation happening in Chungnam's Dangjin. And this often gets into, of course, partisan political territory. And even within the same metropolitan city, there are districts or counties that are giving out the money versus that are not. And this has, as always, triggered some frustrations or calls about unfairness.
Right, because 500,000 won per
That's
person,
a
not even a
lot.
household. All right, for our final story, a U.S. aircraft carrier has arrived in the Middle East from the Pacific.
So this goes to the general Iran situation, showing that the situation has not calmed down, but the Asia-based USS George Washington aircraft carrier is now operating in the Middle East. That's according to the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, which is in charge of the operations in the Mideast. So this, number one, it relieves a long-deployed carrier, USS Abraham Lincoln. This ship has been under a lot of scrutiny lately. So number one, it's been at sea for over 250 uninterrupted days straight.
Oh.
And that's a record.
Okay.
And by the way, it might take up to a month for that massive aircraft carrier to come back home. But because of this, there have also been reports that those aboard were suffering from hygiene issues, supply shortages, and consequentially mental health issues as well.
Oh, I'm sure. But This does leave the Asia-Pacific region without a U.S. aircraft carrier, right?
So yeah, let's talk about the local security situation because, again, as you said, this leaves Asia without an American carrier strike group at a time when reports are saying that China has shown more signs of aggression.
Yes.
Also, coming back to the situation right here, drawing security concerns as President Trump has scaled back on the joint Korea-U.S. military drills. By the way, the Ulzi Freedom Shield exercises are ending today, as he has said. But this absence may be short-lived if the U.S. Navy decides to deploy another vessel. However, analysts are saying that this shows how open-ended operations with Iran are and how that is really exhausting not only physical, potentially missile supplies, as it's been reported, but also U.S. forces, the troop members, exhausted. And also the Trump administration further has been retreating from the Asia-Pacific region to focus that resource onto the Western Hemisphere.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you so much for going over all the top stories. And we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
It's time for our next song break. This is My Head and My Heart by Ava Max.
Baby, now and then I think about me now and who I could have been. And then I picture all the perfect that we lived till I cut the strings on your tiny violin. My mind's got a mind of its own right now, and it makes me hate me. I'll explode like a dynamite if I can't decide, baby. My head and my heart are torturing me. Yeah, lost my mind in your arms. I go to extremes. Yeah, when angels tell me run and monsters call me love. My head and my heart are caught in between. Yeah, la 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 la, la 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 la. Should I stay or should I go? You held my hand when I had nothing left to hold, and now I'm on a roll. My mind's got a mind of its own right now, and it makes me hate me. I'll explode like a dynamite if I can't decide, baby. My head and my heart are torturing me. Yeah, lost my mind in your arms. I go to extremes. Yeah, when angels tell me run and monsters call me love. My head and my heart are caught in between. Yeah, la 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 la, la 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 la. I'm standing at the crossroads. I cross my heart with X and O's. Which way leads to forever? God only knows. My head and my heart are torturing me. Yeah, lost my mind in your arms. I go to extremes. Yeah, when angels tell me run and monsters calling out. My head and my heart are caught in between.
Traffic is so bad. Let's see what's on the radio.
Get the latest news and current issues that you need here on Morning Wave in Busan. You're now listening to Morning Wave in Busan with me, Catherine. All right, welcome back, listeners. Text topic today. If you could choose where to live, the city versus the country, what would it be? We have Sunjongao-님. Love your username, by the way. I'd like to live in the countryside treating stray cats, they say. Ooh, that's a nice one. What about Benny? Life or city life is the one I choose, and that's okay for me. So, okay. We have a difference of opinion already, but I love that everybody has his or her own opinion. Leah Neem says, I prefer big cities to small cities, but I'm fine with living in a smaller city as long as the public transportation is convenient. That is so important, though, because you got to get to where you got to go, right? Whether it's hospitals or, any type of place like a supermarket, etc. Transportation is really important. Souvenir님 says, 사는 건 도시, 시골은 가끔 여행만 가도 충분할 것 같아요. So he writes that he prefers living in the city and to visit the countryside or rural areas once in a while, right? But he thinks that's quite enough. So with that, we're going to turn to Casey. I wonder what Casey's thinking. And this is for Foreign Press Highlights. Let's say hi.
Good morning. I was just reminiscing about country life.
Yes.
as the last listener comment you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever lived in like a really, really country, small place?
No.
I have.
Oh, really? Like how small?
I think a village of like, I want to say 2,000 people, if that. Yeah.
That's small.
Yes.
And how was that?
Once in my life was good.
You're like, that was enough.
Like there was like some really amazing things about that, but
Right, like-
I don't know if I could do it. Well, the weird thing was like everybody knew who I was because I was the only American there.
Oh.
So
You
yeah.
live here in Korea?
No, this was before I came to Korea. This was in Moldova, and it was weird. Like everybody knew who I was. Like I knew everybody knew. You know what I
You
mean?
stood out?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm sure the way I walked, the way I dressed, I like
Mm-hmm.
American. So yeah, I don't know if I would do that again. It was really interesting though. Like it was a really great experience, but wow. It was
Okay,
different.
you're like,
It was weird to be like, obviously standing out.
1,000. Okay.
Yeah, I think like if that.
If that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, that must have been an experience. But
Yes. So city.
Yes, you're a city boy.
Yes.
Well, let's jump into our first story for Foreign Press Highlights. Stories about Korea from the perspective of non-Korean news agencies. So what do you have for today?
We talk about K-beauty occasionally, and you can always
Are
tell.
you trying to tell us something, Casey? Have you been taking care of your skin? Are you glowing?
Do I look like I shaved?
I know.
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
the best I can do. But like the more we talk about it, like it's basically, I think it goes without saying, like K-beauty is global, right?
Yes,
that's okay.
it is.
I wanted to make sure. But K-beauty, in your opinion, does K-beauty only include like makeup and skincare? Because I think it's a little more than that.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's
Okay.
like K-beauty, but also an extension of that might lead into like certain procedures.
Okay, because that's what
Maybe.
we're going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Exactly what we're going to talk about. And this is the second time I've talked about an article from Space Daily, and it has nothing to do.
Space Daily.
I know. It has nothing to do with space whatsoever. I'm kind of like, I'm curious. Where do they get their ideas from? It's like
okay.
throwing at the dartboard.
Here we go. This one sticks.
It's not about, it did, and it stuck for me. It's not
Okay.
about space. It's about how South Korea, this is a long title, they do this. South Korea has one of the world's highest rates of cosmetic procedures per person, but the deeper story is not vanity. And the title goes on. That's enough for you can find it.
Oh, gosh.
And I was just like, okay, I want to kind of know more about this.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I I think there's like some kind of cultural programming I received, but do you think that people commonly assume that plastic surgery is just about vanity?
I would say not always, but I would say like commonly. Isn't that the common thinking?
Yeah.
Sorry, you saw
Leave.
that, right?
Leave.
There's a little
Leave
bug
us.
flying around. Yes. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I just think about the way that it's like presented in media and like a lot of like film, and it always seems like it's about vanity when people get mocked for it.
Right.
So this article attempts to explain how there's much more going on under the surface, at least here. So according to a 2020 Gallup Korea poll, they found roughly a third of women aged 19 to 39 had undergone some form of cosmetic surgery, and 2/3 of them said they'd consider it to improve their standing on the marriage market.
What?
Okay.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
I
So-
mean, no, you know what it is? It's like everybody has their own opinion about plastic surgery,
Yep.
cosmetic procedures, and it's like, I just feel like if it's for you, I mean, good.
okay.
That's just my thing.
I don't know how to approach it, so this is
Right.
why I like enjoy
Good for
talking
you.
about
if you
these
want it
things.
for yourself, why not? You know?
Okay. But
As an
it's,
adult, right.
Would you say that's for yourself? If it's for the marriage market, then it's not for yourself.
But then I think in the long run, people might think it is for themselves. Because, like, you know, it's maybe the short-term goal is,
Yeah.
you know, I want to, you know, look a certain way.
Okay.
And then get married. But then ultimately, isn't that really for me? People could argue.
I totally see. This is one of those things that like I enjoy talking about, but I almost feel like can I weigh in on this because I have no experience and I have no.
We do it carefully. We tread
Sure,
carefully.
right.
Because, you know, everybody has their own reasons.
And
And we're
I-
talking about this particular article.
That's right. That's right. So to get back to the article, because
Yes.
I almost have no opinion on this.
Okay.
'Cause I did before, and I feel like I should remove my opinion in a lot of ways. They also talked about research from the National Youth Policy Institute, and they found like it was a lower number than a third of women. They found about 22% of women had had some kind of surgery done, and half of them saying they went ahead because appearance matters in life. That's the way they phrased it. Appearance matters in life. Now, that seems like a very broad statement.
You know, though, we live in a society where looks do matter. And I'm not saying that's a good thing.
I'm not either.
Yes.
And I don't think the article is either. I think they're kind of looking for like what's the underlying cause of that and how does that affect women? Because
really?
as they point out, like, okay, any poll you take, the numbers are going to vary. It depends on who they're asking in particular.
Okay.
It also depends on how they ask the questions, right?
True.
But they say basically, no matter what kind of poll has been done, there's a very clear gender split. Women say yes to cosmetic procedures a lot more often than men do in South Korea. And the reasons that the women give rarely involve wanting to look nice or wanting to care about their appearance solely.
Okay. So what other reasons are given besides you talked about the marriage marriage market?
Yep, the
right?
marriage market. So according to a 2024 study of Korean female university students that was published in the International Journal for the Advancement of Counseling.
Okay.
Their results found that they tied body dissatisfaction to pessimism about career prospects.
So it's about the job market.
Right. And they said this link between the two actually held only among women who also reported experiencing gender discrimination and women who both disliked their bodies and suspected the system was fixed. Were the ones who expected least from their working lives, as they say in the article. And they also do point out this is the study of one very specific group. It's university students. They're all female. But it also does point to the idea that for a lot of Korean women, that there's as they say in the article, a low constant hum of being assessed by the people who control their income. Now, that's something I can't relate to.
Okay.
Is it? Do you kind of get what they're saying?
I do, to a certain extent. Not here at the station.
Yeah.
People are very mindful about their opinions about, and, we don't make comments on like, we try not to.
Right.
Make
but the
comments
internet
on,
is a place where comments run free.
Gosh.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
So is there other evidence of what you're talking about?
Yeah, so one big thing they talk about in the article is job applications. And so the fact that job applications in Korea have changed a lot over the years.
Yes, they have.
But one part has not.
Uh-huh.
The headshot.
The headshot.
Yes, which is, I do not ever recall seeing that on any other job application in the U.S. I think
I don't know. But
Yeah.
see, the headshot, though, okay. I have sat on interview panels
Me
for
too.
other companies, right? And I'm sure you have
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
And then there's usually the application with the headshot. And then sometimes, I'll be perfectly honest, the candidate walks in. And then you do kind of a double take because you're like, is this
'cause
the
the
right
picture-
person? Because it doesn't match up.
Okay.
No, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm just saying it's pervasive. They go to like special studios where they specialize in these headshots, right? For your professional resume, your CVs. And so
I wish we had an hour because I would run over and grab you my my new ARC, my alien registration card, whatever it's called now. They
it look like
photoshopped it so bad that I look like Nosferatu. I don't look like me. I hope I don't look like me because when I see it, I'm like, why did you do that to me? And I've had that experience when you go to a photo studio for passport pictures or whatever,
And then
they
it's
start
like-
touching up. I'm like, no, I think you're not supposed to do that. For
it's like, it's too much.
Yes, like I've had eyebrows like painted on me. I'm like, please don't do that. Like if I catch them, I'll be like,
really,
please
really?
do not. And
You're
they're
like,
like,
just leave me.
are
let
you
me be."
sure? Are you sure? So yes, I know what I look like.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I totally know what you're
Okay,
talking
okay.
about. So they basically talk about how this process has changed though over time. So like previously, it wasn't just the photo. The person's height and weight had to be written on the job application form as well, which I've never seen that.
I mean,
before my time.
I hear that back in the day. This is probably before we came to Korea.
2007, that was changed apparently.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's probably why.
So I never saw that.
I never saw that, right.
The Labor Ministry in 2007, they introduced like a new standardized resume template. It dropped height and weight and family background.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right?
Yes.
And then there was a separate bill to get rid of the photos, but it just, as they say, sat in the National Assembly for years and nothing came of it. So finally in 2019, there was an amendment to the Fair Hiring Procedure Act, which was nicknamed the Blind Hiring Law, which when I was on one of those panels, it was very clear that they were following that.
Right.
They were like, you don't answer your name even. Like,
really? Oh,
yes, the person's name. Yeah.
Okay.
So this basically the idea they were stopping employers from asking applicants about their appearance if it was unrelated to their job. I guess if you're a model.
That's what I was gonna say. Your height and weight should matter for like if you're going for a gig like a modeling gig. I mean, it matters. Right? I'm sorry to say, right?
Right. I mean,
right. So like if it pertains to your job,
right? Like
you have to be a healthy weight. I don't know, to be, for example, whether it's a pilot or I don't know what the parameters.
There might be certain qualifications for specific jobs.
Exactly.
Right.
So that I can understand. So any last comments on this whole story?
It's
which
fascinating.
I think it's
been an hour on
as well, right?
Basically what they point out in the article is like, okay, so the job market here, they do point out that Korea does have the widest gender pay gap in the OECD since 1996 when it joined.
Right.
And that doesn't look to be changing. So the point of the article is like, okay, if that's the case, if women's labor is not as valuable as men according to the pay scale, not my personal opinion, but what goes on, then basically one's own appearance is the only kind of way to get around that and perhaps to increase their chance of getting better pay, a better job. Therefore, the top surgical procedure in the world now in 2024, eyelid surgery, has overtaken liposuction for the first time ever.
Interesting.
So it's interesting like how things kind of determine what becomes common in the procedure market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot more to say about it.
Of course,
Read
but
it.
we got to move on. But that was such an interesting take, though.
Yeah.
It's not just about
I learned a lot.
Surgery's sake.
I learned a lot.
And that's the whole point, right?
Yes.
Well, what's our next story about?
Okay, it's about taking long trips by boat. Have you ever done it?
I've taken a cruise.
How long did you do?
It was real short. We were island hopping, so not like for a prolonged time. I think it was only for like 4 days.
Oh, okay.
It was a real mini cruise.
I think the longest I did was like slightly over a week. And by the end of that week, I was like, I'm ready to get off this boat. I was like, I'm ready to be back on land. Yes.
Land is good.
Right. The reason I'm talking about this is because tomorrow, a South Korean container ship will test the Arctic route to Europe amid Western concern, however.
Oh, we just mentioned this
in
a real short blurb during our news. But so let's talk about this. I'm very, very interested in this.
It's really interesting. And this is from Reuters if you want to look this up. So basically, this ship is scheduled to be flagged off, as they say, tomorrow. And basically, Western diplomats are unhappy about the plan because South Korea has to consult with Russia, also to seek permits from Russia for the ship's voyage. And one European diplomat cited the ongoing war in Ukraine and said concerns had been voiced to South Korean officials. According to the diplomat, we want to isolate Russia. We don't want engagement with Russia. And also, Arctic shipping experts said that South Korea could be at risk at breaching sanctions if the ship gets stuck and they need help from Russia. Because, they could still get stuck in ice. That's a possibility, even though it is the summer.
Yes.
And they did say the Oceans Ministry in South Korea and Russia's Foreign Ministry did not respond to comment to Reuters about it.
Okay, so people might be thinking, then why take that risk? Maybe, upsetting Europe, meaning, many allies.
Well, I included a map for you because I'm really not, when they throw out numbers.
Oh, and look, our producer, if you're on our YouTube
in
channel.
Korean. Nicely done.
So we have a map. So we got to explain it for our radio listeners.
Yeah.
This is the proposed Arctic route.
Yeah, so basically it can shorten the voyage by up to 35% over the traditional Suez Canal route, which goes through Egypt, by the way.
Yes.
So in case you're not familiar. And that means it requires a lot less fuel. And also, basically, this is the time of year that they can check it because The faster melting of Arctic sea ice attributed to global warming has made this possible at this time of year.
Right.
And this has been increasing over the recent years as well. They say, just to give you a comparison, in 2022, only 43 trips were made through this NSR, which is the Northern Sea Route through the Arctic. Mm-hmm. And last year, it was 103.
Oh.
So it was quite a bit of progress there.
Yes.
However, most of these transits were from Russia and China. So this would be South Korea's first attempt at this.
Okay.
If successful, South Korea would be one of the few countries besides Russia and China to actually pull this off.
I see.
So it's kind of a big deal. Guess where it's leaving from? Busan, yes. Yeah, it's leaving from Busan.
Yes. I was like, isn't that what I said today earlier?
Yeah, right.
It's already been ages.
Spoiler.
It's only been like 30 minutes. I'm like, big cat thing.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is leaving from Busan, stopping in the UK, stopping in the Netherlands, stopping in Poland. And it's expected to be like a 40 to 45-day journey. Wow.
That's long.
Yeah. They did speak to an official speaking on the condition of anonymity. It seems like there's a lot of pressure around this trip.
Right.
But the official did say like around September when the voyage will mainly take place because we're getting close to the end of August here. The Arctic sea ice is at its lowest level of the year, making safer navigation possible. And the idea is they want to see, is this actually going to be commercially viable for South Korea?
They're testing the waters, like literally.
Well done.
I mean, because they need to know, is this going to work?
Yeah.
Because, as you said, I mean, we don't want it to get stuck in the ice.
No.
And then there will be like diplomatic issues.
Right, totally.
To Reuters,
So, the more you read into this, it's like, oh, this is kind of risky and important.
Risky.
And they did say that President Lee Jae-myung has made Arctic shipping a priority. Why does that matter for us here in Busan? Well, officials say that it could actually help transform Busan into a global maritime hub and position the Arctic as a regular trade route by 2030. And that year keeps coming back. But.
Right, 2030. It's like kind of a... Well, is that likely? What does Reuters think?
Well, according to the article, they talked to some experts, and they say commercial feasibility could actually be kind of hard to assess. There's a former Navy officer by the name of Haewon Choi, who said in a published article last year in the journal Ocean Policy Research that there's all kinds of costs that go into this. Unit transport costs for the Arctic route are basically swelled by different factors, from the vessel size limits that you have going through that kind of perilous route.
Yes.
Also, insurance costs, because it is,
Right.
So Trey said also you cannot use the NSR year-round. It's only for this very limited time during the 3 summer months when the ice melts.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And as global warming or climate change, however you like to refer to it,
yes,
that seems to be making patterns a little bit unpredictable as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, we shall see, I guess, in terms of this voyage, this maiden voyage, a test for... if this route is viable. So
yeah, that would be a big change.
But it's really important for Busan to see whether it's going to work or not.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure. Yep.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for bringing these two very different stories to our attention, but nonetheless, both informative and entertaining. And have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Everybody, this was Casey with Foreign Press Highlights. In hour number 2, I'm so anxious and excited to talk about cleaning. The deep clean. Do we need all those disinfectants, or can we simply use more of the natural products like baking soda? Well, a non-abrasive and probably okay for our health. Lemon, vinegar, stuff like that. So that's coming up with our expert. That's in hour number 2. We're going to end it with this one, Wait a Minute, by Willow. I'll be back at 8.
I think I left my consciousness in a me. But I broke my word, and you were bound to see. And I cried at the curb, where you first said, oh, natika me. Hold on, wait a minute. Feel my heart's intention. Hold on, wait a minute. I left my consciousness in the sixth dimension. Left my soul in his vision. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Some people like to live. Some just trying to get by. Some people like that hurt. Some just rather say goodbye. Bye. Hold on, wait a minute. Feel my heart's intention. Hold on, wait a minute. I left my consciousness in the sixth dimension. Left my soul in his vision. Let's go get it. Let's go get it.
Hi, Professor. This is Catherine. Can you please unmute your mic? Professor, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Catherine. So I'm assuming you're Professor Dawn Schaffner. Is that correct? Professor?
Hold on, I can't hear
Okay,
you
okay.
because
Oh, really?
I don't have my speaker set up correctly. There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay, okay. So I want to confirm that you're Professor Dawn Schaffner. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, great. So what's going to happen is at the top of the hour, I have a short news segment. It goes on for about 4 minutes, and then I'm going to dive right into the special interview with you. And let's check the optics. Can you sit away from the camera just a little bit so we can get better optics?
How's that?
Yes, that's better. And you sound clear. Can you count from 1 to 5 for us, please?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, nice and clear. What's going to happen is if you could, after a test call, mute your mic and then unmute right before the interview. Our producer will remind you through your Zoom chat box. She'll message you and say, hey, can you please unmute? And then we'll be good to go for the special interview. Is that going to be okay?
That's perfect.
All right. I look forward to our interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.
을 응원하는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 부산 영어방송이 함께합니다.
We are the Zero Waste Rangers.
To save Mother Earth, just remember the 5 R's. Would you like a bag for that?
No thanks. I brought my own bag. Number 1, refuse. Just say no to things you do not need.
This shirt is so out of style.
Why not take it to a flea market? Number 2, reduce. Buy only what you need and share with your neighbors.
1 iced Americano coming right up.
Can I get that in my tumbler? Number 3, reuse. Single use, that's not how we do things.
This is such a hassle. Let's just throw it all in together.
You've got to peel off the labels and rinse them out. Number 4, recycle. Rinse it, peel it, and recycle properly.
This looks different from other sponges.
It's a biodegradable loofah. Number 5, rot. Choose a product that returns to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
AI는 무엇이든 척척 만들잖아요. 그런데 AI가 되살릴 수 없는 소리도 있대요. 사라지면 다시 살릴 수 없는 대한민국의 푸른 자연을 지켜주세요. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back. It's time for 8 o'clock Spotlight News. North Korea fires short-range ballistic missiles. North Korea yesterday fired around a dozen short-range ballistic missiles toward the East Sea as U.S. President Donald Trump has been sending messages for talks with Chairman Kim Jong-un. The South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff said that it has stepped up surveillance and vigilance for possible additional launches. The U.S. Pacific Command has reaffirmed America's commitment to the defense of regional allies. The latest missile launch came after U.S. President Donald Trump expressed his willingness to resume dialogue with Kim and scaled back on the joint South Korea-U.S. military drills. President Lee Jae-myung meets with Chinese Foreign Minister. President Lee Jae-myung met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi at Cheongwadae yesterday and asked him to continue close strategic communications with Seoul's officials on issues surrounding the Korean peninsula. Minister Wang conveyed regards from Chinese President Xi Jinping and assessed that Korea-China relations were stably developing based on the two leaders' shared perceptions, pledging an active role in furthering bilateral ties. Wang also met with National Security Advisor Wi Sung-lak and exchanged ideas on ways to enhance Seoul-Beijing ties as well as the situation on the Korean peninsula. National Assembly passes bill to speed up review of fast-tracked bills. The National Assembly yesterday passed a bill aimed at significantly shortening the deliberation period to a maximum of 90 days from the current 334 fast-track bills. The proposed revision to the National Assembly Act was passed in a 153-81 vote during a plenary session, despite objections from the main opposition People Power Party, or PPP, which argued the ruling party was unilaterally pushing through the bill without sufficient deliberation. The revision shortens the review period for fast-track bills to 90 days, 60 days by a standing committee and 30 days at the Legislation and Judiciary Committee. Ex-prosecutor general indicted over alleged martial law involvement. The Kwon Chang-young special counsel yesterday indicted former prosecutor general Shim Woo-jung without detention over his alleged involvement, including abuse of authority in former President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law bid. Shim is accused of reviewing the dispatch of prosecutors to a joint martial law investigation headquarters on December 3, 2024, the night when Yoon declared martial law at the direction of the then Justice Minister. Shim's representatives issued a statement saying that special counsel had ignored evidence and legal principles and vowing to prove it in court that the indictment was unjustified. U.S. urges allies to join economic pressure campaign on Iran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called on U.S. allies to join Washington's stepped-up economic pressure campaign against Iran, outlining a plan to impose the toughest sanctions in history on the Islamic Republic. Bessent said that those who insist on doing business with Iran will see the full might and force of the U.S. Treasury and the government, calling on allies in the rest of the world to make a decision. The secretary plans to hold a press conference on Monday local time to explain what the administration is doing in its anti-Tehran economic campaign. This was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview today. Picture this. A spotless kitchen, A shiny countertop, not a speck of dust, not a germ in sight. At least that's what we would love to believe. Keeping our homes clean can feel like a never-ending job, and it's really easy to think that the more thoroughly we clean, the healthier our homes become. But experts say that is not always the case. We may be reaching for disinfectants more often than we need to, and using them doesn't always mean we're getting rid of all the germs effectively. Today, we're going to look at some common cleaning habits and how to make them safer and more effective. Joining us today is Professor Dawn Schaffner, the department chair, a distinguished professor at Rutgers University, and extension specialist in food science. Thanks for joining us today, Professor.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, we're going to start with the basics. What is the difference between cleaning and disinfecting? And also, a follow-up question, when is regular cleaning with soap and water? Like, is that enough? Is it ever enough?
Great question. So what I will say is, one thing we often say in the world of food safety is you can't sanitize a dirty surface. So the first thing to do if you want to make a surface safe is to clean it. And what that means is getting rid of any visible debris. And typically we'll do this with soap and water. You'll do it to a cutting board. You'll do it if you're washing your hands. And then after you do that, then you can proceed with the sanitizing step or the disinfecting step. So that would typically involve using chemicals. If you're talking about hands, it's usually alcohol-based hand sanitizers. On a cutting board, it might be some sort of disinfectant that you spray out of a spray bottle.
Ah, okay. So there is definitely a difference. So when we think about things like raw chicken or meat and the cutting board, and we often hear, oh, you should have separate cutting boards for different types of food, etc. What is the safest way to deal with this and also to clean the area afterwards?
Sure. Let's talk about the cutting board first. I would say it's best not to think about the safest way. Think about what is the way that you can do it that works for you. What we do in my house is we have an automatic dishwasher with a sanitizer cycle. And so what we will do is we'll take that cutting board that's we've been used for processing or chopping raw chicken, and we'll put it in the dishwasher and we'll run it on the sanitizer cycle. If you don't have an automatic dishwasher, then you can perform basically the same thing in your sink. If you're going to do it in your sink, I would say start with soap and water and a good scrub brush and scrub that cutting board clean. And then you can either spray with a disinfecting chemical, or if you don't have that handy, you can just simply pour boiling water over the cutting board, and that will also sanitize it.
Ah, and so in terms of the cutting board we get, so is there anything else that we should really be keeping an eye on when we're talking about cleaning areas, especially after we've used the cutting board or we've even maybe used the granite countertop, etc.?
Yeah, well, remember that there are pathogenic bacteria that can be found on chicken and other meat, and as you're slicing or chopping or manipulating that food, it may spray beyond the area of the cutting board. So realize that it's probably a good idea to clean and disinfect then in maybe a foot or so, a third of a meter around that cutting board. That's probably a good practice to follow.
Right, and I think we often reach for, disinfectants, whether they're sprays or in these towelettes or whatnot, when we want to make sure, a surface is really clean. When disinfecting isn't necessary, is it going back to the whole soap and water, or is there something else that we're missing?
No, I think one point that I want to make, and this became clear to us during the pandemic, and we certainly saw it in some data that was reported through the U.S. Poison Control Centers. What we saw was in the early days of the pandemic, people were going crazy with spraying all kinds of chemicals thinking it was going to keep them safe from COVID. Right. And what we saw was actually an increase in calls for people reporting poisonings. And so what I would encourage people to do is once you've cleaned the surface, once you've sanitized the surface, it's clean. Using more sanitizer, using higher concentrations of sanitizer, doing it multiple times, that's not really getting you any safer, but it might actually be putting you at risk.
And we do hear about things, whether it be through blogs or even experts who say, baking soda, like a mixture of baking soda or lemon and water, that should be enough. But I really want to get your take on this because I hear different things. So what's your take, Professor? Is that enough?
Sure. If you want to sanitize with water mixed with baking soda, or you want to sanitize with lemon juice, that's fine. By all means, go ahead and do that. Those products, because you make them in your home and they're not made in a standard way, they're probably not going to be as effective as a product that you would buy from the store that would be pre-mixed to the effective concentration. But again, if the surface is already clean and you just want to do a little bit of extra cleaning, there's no harm in it. And certainly, what I also see is people wanting to use these for fresh produce items, for food items. Right. And what I would say in those situations, plain water is fine. You should, with food, you certainly should not use any harsh chemicals or disinfectants. But if you want to use baking soda and water, or lemon juice and water, or apple cider vinegar and water to sanitize your produce, it's probably not doing anything better than water, but it's not going to hurt you either. So it's perfectly fine to do that.
Okay. And so what are some of the common mistakes people make when cleaning, their kitchens, kitchen surfaces, or just basic food handling at home?
Well, like I said before, I think there's a real concern about people overusing some of these chemicals. But one thing that I find myself doing is trying to think like a microorganism, right? So think about how microorganisms move. They don't have legs, they can't walk around, but they are spread through moisture. And so anywhere that you're moving moisture around, you're probably moving bacteria around as well.
Oh, that's a great way to think about it. Okay, so keep things real dry. I will certainly try to do that. When someone in the household is sick, though, Professor, should our cleaning routine change? Are there situations where maybe disinfecting really does become more important?
Yeah, well, again, I would say think like a microorganism here. What is the person sick with? If they have vomit and diarrhea, then that's where your focus should be. Most of the pathogenic bacteria are going to be in the diarrhea, or they're going to be in the vomit. If the person is sick with a respiratory disease, well, then you need to worry about the air. And so the best thing to do in those circumstances is if you need to come in and take care of that person, put on a mask, make sure that there's good airflow through the room. Those are things that are going to minimize your risk from respiratory infections. It's still important to clean and sanitize surfaces, but again, the focus should be on the main route of transmission for the organism of concern.
Yes. And as we wrap up our conversation today, Professor, is there anything else that we can, get? Any last tip that we can get from you today?
Sure. Well, there's a wonderful sign that I saw in a store that you can buy for your house. And let me see if I can get this right. My house is clean enough to be healthy, but dirty enough to be happy. And I think that's probably good advice.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. We wish you the very best. Thanks for joining us today, Professor.
Thanks. It was my pleasure.
This was Professor Dawn Schaffner with our special interview. So, in terms of what he said, I got two things, though. At least, one thing, two steps. It's the cleaning first and then the sanitizing. But he also did mention, maybe we don't want to go overboard with those disinfectants. This was your special interview. I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. There's an accident on Shinseonlo from Dongmyeong 5-way intersection to the Daeyeon overpass. It's been cleared, but there is a broken down cargo truck on the other side of the street. There's congestion there regardless. It's backed up on the top portion of the Gwangan Bridge. It's busy from the Manduk intersection to Namhae Expressway Deokjeon ramp. It's also slow on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong ramp to Daegum. And busy on Suyeongno from KBS 3-way intersection to Daenam intersection. It's currently 27 degrees Celsius here in Busan under clear skies. It's going to go up to 31 today. Busan City is under a heat wave impact forecast, a heat wave advisory, and also a tropical night advisory. Rain is forecast for the central area and showers in southern Chungcheong, with high heat and humidity across the country. Looking ahead to the weekend, yes, it is actually gonna be Choseol on Sunday. Is it gonna cool down? Not according to the forecast, because both tomorrow and Sunday, lows of 25, highs of 31 to 32. This was your traffic and weather. This is a song request from Michael. 그대와 함께 by B1A4.
그대여 나의 눈을 봐요 그대의 눈빛 속에 내가 들어갈 수 있도록 이제는 솔직하게 얘기를 해봐요 더 이상 숨기지 말고 그대여 두 눈을 감아요 눈을 뜨지 않아도 마음으로 볼 수가 있어 언제나 그대 숨결 느낄 수 있도록 내 곁에 있어요 지금 이대로 지난 오랜 시간 동안 한 번도 말은 안 했지만 그대 위한 내 마음은 그대로인 걸 처음 만난 순간부터 나의 마지막 그날까지 그대만이 나의 마음속에 언제까지나
그대의 말투 행동 표정 하나하나 내 눈에 가득 봉인 흑백 필름처럼 흩어진 우리 추억을 zooming 그댈 본 천 그대로 여기서 난 이대로 듬직한 골키퍼 그대는 유일한 내 맘에 걸린
언제나 그대 숨결 느낄 수 있도록 내 곁에 있어요 지금 이대로 지난 오랜 시간 동안 한 번도 말은 안 했지만 그대 위한 내 마음은 그대로인 걸 처음 만난 순간부터 나의 마지막 그날까지 그대만이 나의 마음속에 언제까지나 I wanna love you baby I wanna love you I want you I wanna love you Oh baby love you 언제까지나 너를 사랑해 I wanna love you Oh oh 언제까지나
It's time for 와글와글 tea time. Haley's back.
Good morning again.
Yes, yes. Well, we got to wipe our smiles because the first story, it's about the number of financial accidents from banks. This has hit a record high.
Right. So this is according to the Financial Supervisory Service, or the FSS data from People Power Party lawmaker Park Sung-hoon. So across four major banks, KB국민, 신한, 하나, 우리, and NH농협 from 2017 to July of this year, there have been 281 cases of financial accidents. And we're not talking about like voice phishing scams where customers are involved. This is where the banks caused these accidents. And the amount, 549.5 billion won of your money. Not all of it is your money, probably, but
Okay.
some of it. So the number of accidents kept going up every single year from 20 in the year 2020 to 80 last year.
Wow.
So times 4. And by bank, Uri Bank had the highest amount reported at 284.3 billion won across 70 accidents, followed in order by KB국민, Hana, and Shinhan.
So let's get into specifics. What kinds of accidents are we talking about?
Scams, which is shocking. So it's not just people who are getting scammed, but banks are getting scammed.
No. Really?
Yeah. So for example, this is when they don't do a full thorough checkup or assessment on loan applications.
Okay.
Right, or the including value of the collateral that's going up for mortgage. And this was followed by breach of trust and embezzlement by the employees. So the cases show how lax the security system could be at these respective banks. Because, for example, one banker apparently used theirs and an acquaintance's account to wire money. Fake money to like pad their account balance in the amount of 3.7 billion won. Another banker arbitrarily raised a credit score, so doctored a credit score for their friends, so their friends could get loans, giving out 2.3 billion won worth of loans.
Okay.
So Representative Park said that these are serious problems from banks that should safely secure people's assets.
Right.
And call for those, number one, responsible to be punished and for strong internal regulatory measures.
Oh, so that was very interesting. From the
Eye-opening.
bank's end. Yes, yes. All right, up next, there are over 200,000 people in South Korea who have dual citizenship. But although it's been 15 years since this system came into effect, there's still quite a bit of confusion.
Right, so we're talking about dual citizenship or 이중국적. South Korea does have a restricted dual citizenship system, or we have since the year 2011. So in principle, we do operate under a single nationality principle. But if a South Korean citizen, so that means rather, if a South Korean person voluntarily acquires foreign nationality or foreign citizenship, they immediately lose their South Korean citizenship.
Right.
Also, foreigners who are naturalized in South Korea must renounce their original nationality within 1 year.
So that takes us to our next question. How do you get or maintain foreign citizenship?
There are two ways. You were born overseas and
Okay.
acquired naturalized citizenship that way, aka your parents are Korean, but maybe they gave birth, they were like working in the US. For those cases, these individuals have to pledge to the justice minister that they won't exercise the power of that foreign citizenship before they turn 22. Then you can keep your dual citizenship.
Okay.
Also, if you are a foreign national, you married a South Korean spouse and become a naturalized Korean citizen. So as of 2023, there were 200,000 such individuals, and they are those who have reported themselves as such. So the real figure could be higher if they haven't reported themselves.
Right.
So about half of them, 52%, were those who were born overseas. 32% were married to a Korean spouse, and 11% were actually seniors who have recovered their citizenship to be able to return to and live in South Korea.
Right, right. So I hear, I think the age for that is 65. You can apply for that. Well, things get more complicated for men who have a duty to serve in the military.
Right. So for men who are born abroad and have citizenship, foreign citizenship that way, they do have to denounce their Korean citizenship by March 31st of the year they turn 18. If they do this, of course, then you're a foreign national. You don't have to serve in the military, but also you can't permanently live in Korea as a Korean citizen.
Right.
But if they have served in the military, they can actually again sign the pledge to not exercise your foreign citizenship and maintain that dual citizenship. So dual citizens can defer their military service until they're 37.
Right.
And they do need permission to travel abroad for purposes of moving overseas. But that gets complicated because that also means you cannot live in South Korea for a certain period of time.
Right, right. And, there's been some criticism online over whether these dual citizens are actually double dipping in benefits.
Right. So, are you not paying taxes? Are you so that's actually a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Because again, basically swearing to the justice minister that you won't exercise your foreign citizenship, that means you have to pay taxes in
Right.
Korea. You cannot evade criminal prosecution. You cannot call your other country's consular services and be like, get me out of jail, because that is you exercising that foreign citizenship.
Right, right. So thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, 6 months from now, South Korea is going to be implementing that full ban on dog meat sales. However, business owners, they have filed lawsuits regarding this.
Right. So starting next February, raising and slaughtering dogs for human consumption, as well as distributing and selling dog meat, will be completely prohibited.
Yes.
And violators will be subject to severe criminal punishment. So again, we're kind of in a 3-year grace period, and this will go into effect on February 7th of next year. But now, at least 14 restaurant owners who have handled dog meat in Daejeon specifically have filed administrative lawsuits with the Daejeon District Court against the heads of their respective district offices. So they're actually seeking to overturn the decisions that denied them compensations for their business losses.
Right.
Because the argument here is that this ban strips them, gets rid of their legal right to business that they've maintained for years, if not decades.
Well, how much exactly are they demanding?
That's actually at the heart of the lawsuit. So under the government's basic plan to end dog meat consumption, the central and regional governments are currently offering up to 4 million won in closure assistance for expenses or to go to change your business.
Okay.
However, the businesses are arguing that this ban strips them again of the right to maintain business. So they actually want a separately calculated, legally justified compensations for business losses that they would have incurred had they kept their business going.
Yes.
In addition to the assistance and dismantling costs.
But regional governments apparently don't see it that way.
They don't. So local governments have already rejected this, thus the lawsuit. The relevant departments maintain the position that there is no provision in the special law that explicitly requires separate compensations for business losses. And they're saying that, well, because that would need to come from taxpayer funding.
Right.
That cannot be justified.
I see. All right. Well, we want to end it on a positive note, so let's have it.
Right. So, those of us who do live in the city, in a metropolitan city,
Yes.
we kind of have like an embarrassment of riches when it comes to choices for where to get stuff, right? You and I were just talking off air about I have my 10 o'clock zero soda cravings, and I can just, throw on my slippers and maybe a hat and just shimmy over to the convenience store and
Do
get
you literally
whatever.
shimmy?
I do a little bit. I shimmy back when I have that soda in my hand
'Cause
because
you're
now
happy.
I'm caffeinated. Exactly. But then if you live in an Upcheonli, the small towns, that shimmying is just not happening. So enter 행복마차 in Yeoncheon County in Gyeonggi Province. So this is a traveling grocery truck ranging from fresh produce to laundry detergent. And this comes weekly to the small villages because if you think about it, they don't have grocery store access.
Right.
The elderly residents, and they're almost always elderly residents. If they wanted to go to the next town over, they have to catch a bus. But you know how often buses come to small towns?
Not often.
Well, 3 per day, apparently, for this Yeoncheon County village.
Wow.
3 for the entire day. And then how long are you waiting to catch the bus back? You're also hauling groceries.
True.
And again, if you are 70, 80 years old. So this bus, or the 행복마차, so it's like the happiness carriage,
Yes.
was implemented by this province this year. So it's a pilot program to kind of solve that food desert or grocery desert crisis. The truck, though, if you think about it, it also
Yes.
acts as a social gathering of sorts because all the elderly residents are coming there. And I
Love
think it's
it.
also a great way to implement a social net, like a safety net, because if, a grandma who comes every week doesn't show up,
Oh, yes.
you're going to want to
Great
check
point.
in with her. Also, you do get a really good glimpse of what's in demand. And that's kind of a really cool sociological way to get a glimpse. And it probably acts like a water cooler for gossip and everything.
Love it.
So the county does plan on expanding that pilot program. So for a little bit of reference, a food desert is usually these areas where people don't have access to, healthy food. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, thank you for ending it on this great note for Waga. And of course, we will check in with you on Monday. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. This was Waga Tea Time. I love when we end on a happy, warm note. And we're going to get to this song. This is Love Ya by Hyego.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, I will stay. Kick off blanket, make it balloon. Hiding inside, I'll blow all of my love to your lips. Love is quite warm. Would you say with your best mate and me are drowning? I'll say my friend, 'cause you are like the most. I ask, I love you, how much can you love me? Just sweet are 1,000 words, and then I will say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Don't be afraid. Yeah, I will say, hide your little spot in my ring finger. Let's put a name on each of your every single edge. Love this quite moment. Would you say if your best mate and me are drowning? I'll say my friend, 'cause you are like the most. You're like me, and I'm like you. What you're thinking right now is always the same as me. That's why I'm so in love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
back, everybody. It's time for our final segment. So you know who's here, right? Andrew Miller, Professor An 교수님 is here. Yay!
Morning.
It's time for Global Affairs. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yes.
You know, this week, every day, I have been walking 7,000 steps.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Did you listen to our special interview?
I did. That's why I've got my Australian kangaroo tie on today.
Are you serious? Oh,
Uh-huh.
so he's referring to our special interview from Monday.
That's right.
Oh, so
Yes.
that shows you listen to our program.
I do. Even on my days off.
Ah.
That's all I do.
What other adjectives can I use? Last week it was creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme,
the
like
best
that.
of the best. Yes, it's here.
I've officially changed my name. The creme de la creme.
I like. Well, we are going to dive into global affairs. What are we covering this week?
Well, it's 21st of August. We're getting to the end of summer.
Oh, thank goodness.
And this year, I think, has been a pretty good summer for the Korean tourist industry.
Oh, yes.
Especially Busan. So I've been walking around. So my mum came over to Korea. She's back in England now.
Okay.
But we went to Haeundae and a few places, and so many people this
Bustling,
year.
Crowded.
Busan.
Yes. What did your mom think?
So my mum's been here many, many times.
Okay.
I think she was a little bit disappointed, to be honest.
Why?
Just because it's changed so much.
Oh.
So Busan has, I guess, this is kind of what we'll talk about today. The sort of the pros and the cons of this sort of tourism.
Oh,
and tourist
really?
diplomacy.
Oh, it's linked.
But yeah, my mum was a little bit disappointed because so many people, but there's so much change in Busan. It's a little bit more sort of commercialized than what it used to be.
I fully understand where she's coming from, though. Yes. So that takes us to our topic for this week, right?
That's
so
right.
Here we are.
So I was watching the news a few days ago, and it said Kimhae Airport hit the record this summer, like more than 1 million travelers.
Right.
So
Milestone.
I thought, this was huge. So I thought we'd look at sort of tourism diplomacy.
Ooh,
this idea of why is tourism such a good industry? How do governments use tourism?
I mean, I think it's such a valuable soft power, don't you think so?
Exactly. Super soft power. So for everyone who doesn't know, hard power is basically military.
Yes.
It's military force. Soft power is using cultural sort of assets to promote the country.
Right.
Effectively. And this is something that South Korea, maybe our listeners can chime in as well, has done so well.
Yes.
So these days, everyone's heard of the K-wave, the Korean wave. Wherever you go in the world, people know about K-pop and K-food and K-dramas and whatever. So Korea's really done this very, very well.
Right.
And this is not just the culture sort of naturally dispersing. This is very much a government, a political strategy.
Yes.
To basically take Korean culture and promote this around the world, to promote Korea, show the world, this is the country that Korea is. Korea is a safe country.
Yes.
But it's also a modern country and a historical, traditional country. So
It's
this
very
is
much,
what
yes.
tourism diplomacy is.
Targeted approach, right?
Yes.
And you mentioned, I remember, was it last year? Anyhow, when you went to, home to England, and I asked you when you went, I'm like, do you see it? Do you feel that the presence of, K culture, that it has grown in England? And you said yes, right?
Oh, for sure. Especially, so it used to be K-pop, K-dramas.
Right.
That was sort of the standard, the first one. But especially when I went back last year, it was K-cosmetics.
K-beauty, yeah.
K-beauty. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. No.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not correcting you. I'm just saying it's so broad.
K-beauty.
K-beauty, right.
So this one, like my niece, she's in her mid-20s now, but she was like, everything has to be Korean.
Oh, really?
All of the cosmetics, all of the beauty stuff she buys, it's now all Korean stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's real.
It is. And you go to the supermarkets and you see more and more Korean products in the supermarkets. So it definitely is, it's working.
Without giving brand names on air, dropping brand names, but what was like the most surprising thing that you saw like at a supermarket, at a market, and you're like, oh, they even have this here? Like, or like a particular sauce or like this type of ramyeon, or what did you see? And you're like,
I think not a specific one, but just a bigger variety.
That's
of
important,
everything.
Though. Right.
Yeah. But especially ramyeon and you can't. I see. You said not to give the name.
Oh, but
it's
you can describe it.
A drink.
It's a drink.
It's sort of like lemonade, but it's a milky white color.
You're so good at describing it without giving away the name. The white one, the
whitey
soda
one,
pop,
yes,
right? Yeah.
So I didn't expect to see that one.
Oh, but it was there.
But that was there.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So we talked about soft power. What else can you tell us about how tourism diplomacy is used?
So, I mean, there's benefits and also disadvantages. But just to sort of add a little bit extra.
Sure.
So this tourism diplomacy, like we said, the main actor really is the government. So this is an official strategy from the government. But it doesn't just involve the government. It therefore also involves local communities.
Sure.
So, for example, Busan. So this year, many, I guess, this year there'll be about 4 million tourists coming to Busan. This means that Busan we are acting as the host. So we also play a very big role in whether people want to come here or want to leave. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. Actually, in several countries, especially more in Europe, there's a lot of cities that are starting to push back against tourism. So like I said, my mum, a little bit disappointed. Maybe in the future, as more and more people start coming to Busan, maybe we'll start to see actually some negatives as well.
I see. Okay.
But of course, then also the travel industry, so hotels, tour guides, the airlines, all of these different actors, stakeholders, they're all playing this role in the tourism industry.
Sure.
And however well we promote this, this is very good for diplomacy. So it can either create good relations with other countries, potentially it could create negative relations as well.
But just the fact that, like, at least for now, for the time being, people are being drawn to Korea. And also, the all-important, do they want to come back? I think that's also very important.
Right, for sure. So this is kind of the biggest benefit. So a lot of countries, again, their strategies are very, very good. So you get countries like the UK. I think a lot of people want to go to the UK, but more for the history and sort of the royal family and things like that. Not to come and see Andrew's house.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Should we start a business?
Should we start a tour?
This is where Andrew was born. This is where Andrew went to school.
This is where creme de la creme
That's right,
grew
the creme
up.
de la creme.
This is where he grew up.
CDC.
Yes, this is where he went to school, and the tour.
And then other countries like India, so incredible India, they have very good ones. So it's very important you get the strategy, the slogan right. So this is my personal opinion.
Yes, what's your personal opinion?
Maybe Busan could have a slightly better slogan. This would be mine.
Why? You don't think Busan is good?
Well, it's not a bad one, but why not Busan is great?
Yes, we'll just leave it there.
But anyway, that was my personal.
Right. What is Korea's slogan? I know it used to be like the land of the morning calm. I don't know what the official slogan is anymore.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
But it used to be the land of the morning calm. Like you would see it everywhere. I don't know. I feel like it's changed. We're not just calm anymore.
Does Korea need a slogan now? Because the K is so synonymous now with Korea.
That is true.
So again, Korea I think has done an amazing job overall.
Yes. But let's also talk about, I mean, we can't ignore the fact that, when the visitors come, when travelers come or they go to a certain place, money is spent.
Right.
The economic side is so huge.
This is by far the biggest benefit, the biggest advantage of tourism. So I have a few stats this year. So this year, again, we talked about Korean Kimhae Airport, 1 million plus. This is a record. But also for the economy, just in June, so June alone for Korea, tourism generated $2.8 billion. So they're saying this is basically on average, each tourist coming to Korea is spending $1,400 per person. So this is huge. So if 1 million coming into Kimhae Airport this summer, all spending $1,400 for the local economy, this is huge.
Great news.
And then the target, so this was 11% of GDP. So this is a huge part of the whole industry. But the target also, by 2028, the Korean government wants 30 million visitors per year, which will basically generate about an estimated $40 billion.
Yes.
So this is huge.
Okay, so we have some breaking news coming in. Breaking meaning like it's new to us. So from the Korea Tourism Organization, their official slogan has been, Imagine Your Korea. They've been using it since 2014. So my land of the morning calm, that was so like, outdated. But it's now,
old school.
So old school. Imagine Your Korea is the official motto. Oh, nice. Now that we know. Okay. Yeah. Well, what about in terms of like cultural exchange, though?
So this is also important. So effectively, when tourists are coming, obviously they're seeing different places.
Sure.
But they're coming, they're trying new foods.
Oh, yeah.
So again, a lot of people will come to Korea maybe for the first time. Maybe they've never tried K-beauty products in their own country. But they're going to come, they're going to go to, I won't say the names, but there's several well-known shops in Korea selling these beauty products.
Right.
And they'll purchase them here, try them in Korea, but then they'll also go back home.
Right.
And then they'll start buying them at home
And not
as
just
well.
that, when I don't know, especially for women, I'm sure for men as well, if you find a really good product, it's just you want to evangelize and you're like, yeah, have you tried this?
Right.
This product is so good. And it's word of mouth, right?
Right, exactly. So they're coming to Korea or wherever country they're going, and they're trying all of these different local cultures.
Yes.
And then basically taking them home with them. So this creates this sort of cultural exchange.
Yes. And I've been to, let's say, for example, you go to Thailand. And then you try a Thai brand of something and you really like it.
Right.
And then you tend to look for it when you come back home too.
Right.
I've done that.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that
exactly.
happens with K products as well. So we got to talk about the downside, the negatives.
Yes. So there are some negatives, of course. So like we said, tourism, I think this is kind of the dilemma. Do you want the huge economic benefits that it brings? And remember, economic, it's also job creation. It's not just the money coming in.
True.
It's also, like we said, for the hotels, for the tour guides, for the taxis, whatever.
Yes.
Infrastructure, airport
Yes.
workers. It's all huge job creation as well. So that's true. So you have this dilemma, positive for the economy, but then it also does bring negative aspects. So you get a lot of overcrowding.
That's so true, though.
So, like I said, if you go to Haeundae Beach in the summer, there's a lot of people. So if you don't like that sort of crowded place, maybe not the best.
I used to live on Dalmaji Hill for several years, and I used to avoid at all costs the main road.
Right.
We would always take the back roads
Exactly,
because
yeah.
it was just really, really
Right.
overcrowded.
So for the locals who are living here,
Yes.
this can become a bit of a nuisance.
A little bit, yeah.
So in Europe, there's quite a few examples. So in Spain, so Barcelona, Mallorca, several different cities across Spain, there's been a huge pushback against tourism.
Right.
So again, even though these tourists are bringing so much money, the locals are saying, look, we'd rather not have them. We'd rather... So as more and more tourists come in, and they're using Airbnb, for example, and people are investing in houses for Airbnb, this pushes up the house price.
That's true.
So I think it was Barcelona, the average rent was 1,500 euros per month.
Right.
But also, for locals, the average wage is also 1,500 euros.
Oh, goodness.
So effectively now the locals, they just cannot afford the housing because the tourists are pushing the prices up so much.
That's a great example.
So you have that example, but then also in Mallorca, pressures on resources. So again, taking all of the water, the food, whatever, extra traffic. So like you mentioned, Hyundai, extra trash. So Boracay, a few years ago, they shut it down literally for 6 months just to clean it up, and now they limit the number of people. So all of these things, and then Venice in Italy, this one very big one. There was huge cruise ships coming in. So there again, a lot of negative areas from there. Anti-tourism protests in Mexico. In Japan, apparently a lot of people are sort of trespassing sort of in this sort of scenic areas. So the Japanese are putting basically big black sheets up to block
saying,
it.
hey, not here.
So effectively, and what we can see is a lot of this is happening in Europe. So in Europe, it's moving a little bit more sort of anti-tourism. But in Asia, so like I said, in Korea, Thailand and Vietnam, these areas, really, they can't get enough tourism. They really want more and more tourists coming in.
Very interesting, this whole concept of tourism diplomacy. And so thanks for bringing it to our attention. It was real. And, of course, we'll check in with you next week as well. So thank you.
Okay, see you next week.
Everybody, this was Professor Andrew Millard, and we're going to call it a wrap for today for the entire week. So thank you for joining me and for tuning in today as well. We're going to end it with this one. This is Champagne Supernova by Oasis, wishing you a beautiful weekend, and please join us on Monday. Bye, everybody.
special people change? How many lives are living strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky. Wake up the dawn and ask her why. A dream, she never dies. Wipe that tear away now from your eye. Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a car.